Hey YouTube, how is everybody doing? Welcome again to Living My Life with Ivan. Today I wanted to share with you something small. So there's this idea that I was talking about in my main channel, and I felt like, it's something that is interesting enough that I should share here in this channel. So the idea is this, right? Your wealth is a function of the value that you're putting out into the world. And I'll say that again. Your wealth, your total wealth, in other words, your worth, is a function of the value that you're putting out into the world. And what does that mean? There is an entrepreneur that I follow online. His name is Alex Hemonzi. I think he kind of explains this idea best. He says what you have in terms of your money, your property, basically your wealth, because your wealth is not just the money you have, but everything that you have that contributes to what you're worth. So your total wealth is actually 10% of the value that you're putting out in the world, 10% of the value that you create in the world, which in other words means 10% of the value that you're creating for other people. 10% of that is what comes back to you as your wealth. So I was just talking about this in my main channel, and it was mostly directed to early career technologists, people who are just starting their career in technology, especially people who are transitioning from other industries into tech later on in their career. So they are not traditional technologists, they are switching careers in technology. And so I was talking about how as an early career technologist, you can increase your wealth. You can basically increase your career, increase your salary, increase how much you make. The simplest way that you can do that is to increase the value that you're putting out in whatever company you're working in whatever environment you find yourself working in. So it's a very simple idea, right? It's not easy, or it might not be easy, but it's a simple idea. To increase your wealth, you have to increase the value that you create. And as an early career technologist, the simplest way that you could do that is by documenting what you're doing, right? Because you might feel as an early career technologist, you're just starting your career, you're coming into a field that is, not very familiar to you. And so the first thought is you don't really have much to offer. You're working with people who know a lot more than you, who have gone to school to do this thing, and people who have spent their careers doing it. So people who have many years of experience ahead of you. So you might feel like you don't have anything to offer. So how do you increase the value that you put out to people who are already in that field? The simplest way that I was advising them is for them to create documents, document everything they are doing, everything they are learning, right? So when they come in and they start learning, you're learning the processes of your team, you're learning how your team does stuff, you're learning how your team approaches problems, how your team troubleshoots, or you're just learning the documentation that your team is using, something as simple as that, right? Wherever you see gaps in that documentation, fill those gaps, right? Add to that documentation. If there are things you're learning that are not documented, document those things, right? Even things that you don't know, right? You might be getting on calls, you might be getting on troubleshooting calls, incident calls, problem calls, and learning how people are solving problems, right? You are not the one that has that knowledge of how that problem is solved. You're watching other people solve those problems. Document those processes. Think about it from the perspective of, if I had come into this company and someone that created this document for me, what is it that I would love to see in that documentation, right? And do that thing for the person who comes in after you. So that is a way that you can create value in a company where you might feel like you don't have a lot to offer, right? It increases your area of influence to people who would later come in after you. So that's how you can increase value in a company where you're just starting out in. But for you who is watching this video on this channel, I know this channel is not really directed to any particular group of people. Anybody can come on this video, right? You have to also see how you can apply this particular theory in your life, how you can apply this framework in your life. How do you increase your wealth? Try to increase the value that you put out in the world. It's simple. Now, the part where it's not easy is for you to figure out how it applies to you. to your own particular area where you function, right? It doesn't matter which field you are in. How can you increase the value that you're putting out for other people in that your field? And so that's what I just wanted to share with you today. Thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Share your thoughts in the comment section and let me know what you think about this. And I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Bye.